Hello, friends. There is a Social Security strategy that lets you stop your benefit payments after you've already started collecting, without penalties, without paperwork, and without giving back a single dollar you've already received. Every month you pause, your benefit grows by a specific percentage, and when payments restart, that higher amount stays with you permanently for the rest of your life. The SSA does not promote this strategy, does not appear on your Social Security statement, but it is written into federal law. It is available right now, and for the right person in the right situation, it is one of the most powerful income moves available in retirement. What I'm describing is called voluntary suspension, and the reason most people have never heard of it is straightforward. The SSA does not go out of its way to tell you about options that result in them paying you more money later. That's not a conspiracy. That's just how the system works. The information is there if you know to look for it. Today, I'm going to lay it out completely. What it is, how it works, exactly how much it can increase your monthly benefit, who qualifies, what the real trade-offs are, and the specific things you need to handle before you make this move. Because done right, this strategy can add hundreds of dollars to your monthly check permanently. Done without the full picture, it can create problems you didn't see coming. Let's start with the basics because the name itself can be confusing. Voluntary suspension is not a penalty. It is not a freeze on your account. It is not something that happens to you. It is something you choose to do. You contact the Social Security Administration, and you ask them to stop sending you payments. That's it. No complicated application. No lengthy review process. No repayment of benefits you've already collected. You simply request the suspension, and SSA processes it. The reason anyone would do this comes down to one thing: delayed retirement credits. Here is how the math works. For every month your benefit is suspended, the SSA adds 0.2% to your monthly benefit amount. That doesn't sound like much until you do the full calculation. 0.2% per month works out to exactly 8% per year. Suspend for 1 full year, and your benefit is permanently 8% higher when it restarts. Suspend for 2 years, and it's 16% higher. Suspend from your full retirement age all the way to age 70, and your benefit grows by 24 to 32% permanently, depending on your exact birth year. On a monthly benefit of $2,000, a 32% increase is $640 more every single month. That's $7,680 more every year. Over a 15-year retirement, the difference adds up to more than $115,000 in additional lifetime income. And that calculation doesn't even account for cost of living adjustments, which are applied as a percentage of your benefit. A higher base benefit means larger annual raises too. The compounding effect over time is significant. Now let's talk about who can actually use this strategy, because there are 2 specific requirements that determine whether voluntary suspension is available to you right now. The first requirement is age. You must have already reached your full retirement age. Not 62, not 65. Your full retirement age, which is 66, 67, or somewhere in between depending on the year you were born. If you are currently collecting Social Security but have not yet reached full retirement age, you cannot suspend your benefit yet. You will be able to once you get there, but the option is not available before that birthday. Here is the full retirement age breakdown by birth year, so you know your exact number. If you were born in 1955, your full retirement age is 66 years and 2 months. Born in 1956, it's 66 years and 4 months. Born in 1957, 66 years and 6 months. Born in 1958, 66 years and 8 months. Born in 1959, 66 years and 10 months. And if you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is 67 exactly. That is your specific number, not a round figure, your month and year. Write it down if you haven't already. The second requirement is that you must currently be receiving Social Security retirement benefits. Voluntary suspension is not available if you are collecting disability benefits or supplemental security income. It applies specifically to retirement benefits. If you're on retirement benefits and you've reached full retirement age, the option is open to you. The upper boundary is age 70. You can suspend your benefit anytime between full retirement age and 70. At age 70, payments resume automatically regardless of whether you've requested it. The SSA restarts your benefit at the higher amount without you having to do anything. but it is worth contacting SSA before your 71st birthday to confirm the restart is processed correctly and that your benefit reflects the full accumulation of delayed credits. Here is where a lot of people run into trouble. Voluntary suspension sounds straightforward on the surface, and in many ways it is, but there are two consequences that catch people completely off guard, and if you don't address them before suspending, they can create real financial problems during the suspension period. The first involves your spouse. If your spouse is currently collecting a spousal benefit based on your Social Security record, their payments will also be suspended when yours are. Not reduced, suspended entirely. This is federal policy, and it applies automatically the moment you request suspension. This is a critical consideration for married couples. If your spouse depends on that spousal benefit to cover monthly expenses, suspending your benefit affects their income directly. Before you make any move toward suspension, sit down with your spouse and work through exactly what your household income looks like, without both your Social Security payment and their spousal benefit coming in. If the numbers still work, the strategy may still make sense. If they don't, the answer may be to wait or to find another way to increase your benefit over time. One important note: if your spouse is collecting their own retirement benefit based on their own earnings record, not a spousal benefit based on yours, their payments are not affected by your suspension. The suspension only impacts benefits that are directly tied to your record. The second thing you must sort out involves Medicare. When your Social Security benefit is suspended, Medicare premiums are no longer automatically deducted from your check. Right now, if you're enrolled in Medicare Part B, that premium, $185 a month in 2026, comes out of your Social Security payment before it reaches your bank account. You may not even think about it because it happens automatically. The moment your benefit is suspended, that automatic deduction stops. Medicare does not go away. Your coverage continues, but you are now responsible for paying that premium directly to Medicare every single month on your own. If you miss payments, Medicare will send warnings. If you continue to miss them, you risk losing your Medicare coverage entirely. And losing Medicare coverage mid-retirement creates a set of problems that are far more serious and far more expensive than anything voluntary suspension was designed to solve. Before you suspend, contact Medicare and set up an automatic payment method for your Part B premium, a bank draft, an automatic bill pay through your financial institution, or a recurring payment set up directly with Medicare. Do this before your suspension takes effect, not after. That one step removes the risk entirely. The process for requesting voluntary suspension is simpler than most people expect. You call the Social Security Administration at 1-800-772-1213. You tell them you want to voluntarily suspend your retirement benefit. They will note the request, confirm your identity, and process the suspension. In most cases, the suspension takes effect the month after you make the request. There is no specific form required for this. There is no lengthy application. The call itself initiates the process. You can also walk into your local Social Security office and make the request in person if you prefer a face-to-face conversation. Some people find it easier to ask questions and get confirmation directly from an SSA representative rather than over the phone. Both options work equally well. Here is something worth knowing before you make that call. Ask the SSA representative to pull your specific numbers. Ask them what your current monthly benefit is, what your benefit would be if you suspended and restarted at 70, and exactly how much more per month you would receive. Those numbers are specific to your record. Getting them directly from SSA gives you the full picture in real dollar terms before you commit to anything. And here is the flexibility piece that makes this strategy genuinely low risk for people who qualify. You can restart your benefit at any time before age 70 simply by contacting SSA and asking them to resume payments. You are not locked in for the full period. If your financial situation changes, if an unexpected expense comes up, if your income drops, if your circumstances shift in any way, you can turn your benefit back on. The credits you earned during the suspension period stay on your record, and your payments resume at the higher amount that reflects however many months of credits you accumulated. Let's be direct about who this strategy is genuinely designed for, because voluntary suspension is not the right answer for everyone, and being clear about that is just as important as explaining how it works. This strategy makes the most sense for people who are between full retirement age and 70, are currently collecting Social Security retirement benefits, have other income available to cover living expenses during the suspension period, are in reasonably good health with an expectation of a longer retirement, and whose spouse either does not collect a spousal benefit based on their record or has their own independent benefit that will not be affected. If you depend on your Social Security check to pay your monthly bills and have no other reliable income source to replace it during suspension, this strategy will create financial stress rather than financial gain. The math only works if you can genuinely afford to go without the payments for the suspension period. If you are in poor health or have reason to believe your retirement may be shorter than average, the break-even calculation shifts. It typically takes approximately 12 to 14 years of collecting the higher benefit to fully recover the payments you gave up during suspension. That is an important number to have in mind. But for people who are healthy, have other income, and are sitting on a reduced monthly benefit they collected before they had the full picture, voluntary suspension is a legitimate, legal, and genuinely powerful way to improve the financial foundation of the rest of their retirement without repaying a dollar of what they've already received. Let's bring it all together. Voluntary suspension allows you to pause your Social Security retirement benefit after you've already started collecting without repaying anything you've received. Every month you suspend, your benefit grows by 0.2%. That works out to 8% per year. Suspend from full retirement age to 70, and your monthly benefit could be 24 to 32% higher permanently. To qualify, you must have reached your full retirement age and be collecting Social Security retirement benefits. You can suspend any time between full retirement age and 70. At 70, payments restart automatically at the higher amount. Before suspending, check whether your spouse collects a spousal benefit on your record. Theirs will also suspend, and set up direct payment for your Medicare Part B premium before your suspension takes effect, so your coverage is never interrupted. To request suspension, call SSA at 1-800-77-21213 or visit your local office. Ask them to pull your specific numbers so you know exactly what your benefit would look like when payments restart. And remember, you can reverse the suspension at any time before 70 if your situation changes. If this video gave you something useful, please subscribe and turn on the bell. The strategies I cover on this channel are not the ones the SSA puts in front of you. They're the ones buried in federal law that most people never find out about until it's too late to use them. Every week I bring those strategies to you in plain language, with real numbers, before the windows close. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know someone who's already collecting Social Security and wondering whether they made the right call, share this video with them. One conversation at the right time can change the entire picture. I'll see you in the next one.